My first interaction with Richard LeCounte, it was in 2014, that long ago when he was a sophomore, I think it was.
Richard LeCounte, Riceboro, Georgia, Liberty County High School.
To hear what happened to Richard over the weekend is concerning. It's really sad, actually. I'm very happy that he made it through without dying. That's all there is to it. I'm happy he made it through without dying because he is one of the people in college football who are have bubbly personalities and make the sport what it is. And for Georgia to lose him on the field is one thing, but I really am. I mean, that was a life or death situation, and I'm glad that Richard has made it through so far. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Richard right now and the time that I've dealt with him over the last 7 years. Dean Legge from Dog Post, making you a smarter Georgia fan. Richard was the first guy to commit to Kirby in the 2017 class. I think he was the first guy to commit to Kirby just straight up, any class. And what I did was I was the first person to talk to Richard after that happened. I was driving back from a game. I can't remember where I was, but I pulled over on the side of the road at a gas station, and you could feel the interest that Richard had at the time about how he wanted Georgia to be great in a way that it had not been. And I've got a couple of quotes from what Richard told me that day, as well as what's gone on since in his recruiting. He said, "I've been torn between Georgia and Alabama for a long time, but with Coach Smart being at Georgia right now, playing for a defensive guru, Coach Smart is putting it all together." And I remember too, the thing that I think is important to remember about whatever legacy that Richard has moving forward, whether he plays at Georgia again or not. This is the part that I think that was so important, was what he did at the Sugar Bowl last year. He was a total leader in every way at that Sugar Bowl. You had guys who understandably did not play in that game because of their NFL future. Well, Richard could have been one of those guys too. But he was thinking about leaving. And when his sidekick J.R. Reed, who was a captain of the team, chose not to play in the Sugar Bowl for whatever reason it was, I really don't know. Richard basically said, without saying, "Hey, look, we're not worried about who's not here. We're going to do this." And that moment in the defensive backfield, I just think, to me, I was like, he's got it. There's nothing to worry about. Richard knows what he's doing. That defense knows what they're doing. And I hope he gets back to play because he's not a superstar. He's not a guy that's going to go on and be a superstar in the NFL. I hope he proves me wrong. But he's not like Thomas Davis or something like that. This guy is a guy that's a grinder, and he is the reason we have college football is for guys like Richard who can go to a major research institution and then explode into adulthood, whether it's through playing football or he goes and becomes a physician. You got guys like Richard, Monty, Malik Herring. These guys have worked for 4 and 5 years doing manual labor for glory 14 times a year. Like that's the essence of college football. And for Richard to be in an accident, which could happen to any of us, you never know what's going to happen tomorrow or later today. But that time at the Sugar Bowl and what he did in that game, that to me is what he'll always be remembered for, because he didn't just lasso the defense in and get them right and get their heads right. He went out and performed. And here's what he said after the game to Dylan Weber of Dog Post. He said, "Speaking it into existence, Monty Rice and I were sitting in the hotel room playing Madden and talking about the game. We talked about some of the goals we had for the game. I know I had mine. I told him mine." He had 2 picks in that game, But Richard is the type of player he is what the college football experience is about. Everybody's not Todd Gurley. Everybody's not a quarterback. But for Richard, he did everything he was supposed to do in his time at Georgia. And hopefully he will continue to do even more. But he comes from the, Nick and Sony, Aaron Murray wing of college football. The guys who, really died out there. Jarvis Jones. Richard's in that ballpark. He's not as good maybe as some of those guys were. He ain't bad either though. So I'm hopeful that Richard gets back out there. I really am. But if he doesn't, let's just appreciate what he's done and his growth over time. And he's been a special player at Georgia, and I'm going to miss not seeing him play. Dean Legge from Dog Post, making you a smarter Georgia fan. Make sure you click and get our Insider newsletter. It's right there on the screen. Click it, and we'll see you on the website.